doing it. You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
Rocking and rolling, probably my favorite outfit that's ever been worn on this couch. Look at this, all orange, getting ready for fall, right?
Right. Detroit, stand up.
Introduce yourself to everybody real quick.
What up, though? My name is Rated M, a.k.a. Rated M on the beat, or you can call me Rated M Wrote It. What up, though, Detroit?
Yes. My friend Undertaker hit me up. He told me all about you. Told me that you got a book coming out, or the book is already out, I believe.
Yes, so my book drops tomorrow,
okay.
September 10th. As a matter of fact, I got something special for you. Hold up.
You got a book for me?
So, I'm the first to come on this show to give Kid L a copy of my book. So, here you go, and I got to sign it for you.
You know, I don't know how to read, right? Not playing. It's not.
I was about to be like, but you can give it to somebody.
I'm playing. This is dope. Welcome to Detroit, the book of Ayesha. Cool. And you're going to sign this for me? Can you sign it for me right now live on air? This is going to be dope.
So I'm the first to sign a book live on air on Kid L. Remember that, y'all.
First person to sign a book on the Kid L podcast. Can you put my name on it too?
Yep.
Dope.
So you want Kid L, you want your government?
No, not my government. I want Kid L. KIDL. And she got me candy. Hell yeah. Dope.
Here you go.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the coolest podcast.
And here is your Rated M Wrote It pen.
Sweet. So the name, the book of Ayesha, why is it named that?
Well, the book of Ayesha is about a young lady named Ayesha Jones. She's 15. The book takes place in Detroit of 2004. And basically, Ayesha has dreams. She has a passion for doing hair. And I wanted to highlight that, Detroit's culture, because we are the hair capital of the nation, in my opinion. So she has a passion for doing hair. She wants to open up a hair salon one day. But in the midst of having those dreams, she deals with a lot of, challenges such as peer pressure. People around her deal with challenges as well. And it highlights a lot of things that women go through. It talks about domestic abuse, sexual abuse. It's a lot going on in this book. But all in all, even throughout that, it's still what I wanted to do was I wanted to create an urban fiction novel, but at the same time give women resources. Like I put one of the hotlines in there, like if you're experiencing sexual abuse, you can call this hotline thing, this, that, and the other. And also like just show love to our city, because I am a Detroit lover. I love this motherfucking city. I really do. No matter where I go, like when I go to other cities, I'm always repping my city all day. So I wanted to highlight our culture, and I showed, I gave shout outs to, different landmarks, celebrities, and it's in my opinion, from what I'm hearing, a lot of people are enjoying this book. I will say this, you guys, to anyone who has endured abuse, sexual, whether it be sexual, physical, I will say this, it is a trigger warning, but it drops tomorrow on Amazon. So I do want to put this up in the camera.
Yeah, of course.
The Book of Ayesha by Rated M Wrote It. You can get it on Amazon, and you can also get it at Barnes & Noble and other bookstores as well. But definitely the easiest way to find it is on Amazon, and you will enjoy it. It's $15.
Beautiful.
And, show y'all love, show y'all support.
Talk about yourself, where you're from, and growing up in Detroit.
Absolutely so. My name is, of course, Rated M, and my journey started at Northwestern High School. I started ninth grade, and that's when I decided that I wanted to pursue this beat making thing. I started making beats at 11 years old, but it was in the ninth grade where I said, okay, I want to take this a little bit more seriously, because during that time, Jay-Z's Black album came out, and I was a big fan of that. And then Kanye came on the scene. And the first time I heard Kanye, it was I don't know if it was Overnight Celebrity by Twister, that beat first, or the Slow Jams beat. But when I was listening to Kanye, I'm like, who is this? I want to make beats just like this guy. And he really heavily influenced me. But I'm from Detroit. I'm from 14th Street. I grew up 14th near Linwood. I went to Thurko Elementary. I lived right next door to the school, but I was still late every day.
Damn.
Still late every day, but I got good grades. I'm over from that way. Before I started making beats, I was a writer. I started writing at 6.
Wow.
And the first thing I ever wrote was a poem about snow. It was a poem about snow. And this was in the first grade. And it was like, snow is white, snow is bright. I like snow because it's so, light. And I used to write poems and even songs. And before Amazon, KDP, and all that came on the scene, I used to write stories in my notebook and pass it around to my friends. And why I say Northwestern is where I got my start is because I remember in the 9th grade, I wrote like a play or story or something. I was passing it around for students to read. And this was when I was in drama class. And, this is something that I was doing for a very long time, and I'm just not putting my book out at 35. But writing was something that I always really had a passion for, as well as beats. So let's get to that part.
For sure.
So I started making beats. It was crazy how I started making beats. I started making beats at age 11. My dad bought me a game called MTV Music Generator. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I wanted some Barbies. You gonna come and bring this shit here to me?
Yeah.
But so eventually I started playing and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of good at this. And that's when I was like, all right, maybe, this is something that I might want to pursue. But it wasn't really, like I said, until the 9th grade where I was like, okay, maybe I do want to be a music producer, this, that, and the other. Now, how I got the passion for writing urban fiction, that started at McMichael Middle School. Me and my best friend Ebony had found a book called The Coldest Winter Ever. Now, I had no business reading this in the 7th grade, but she found it and I started reading it. And I'm like, dang, this book good as hell. I'm like, I want to write something like that. And that's when, I grew a love for reading urban fiction. Also, my dad, he used to have me read Donald Goines books. I don't know if you're familiar with Donald Goines, but he's a legendary author from Detroit. He passed away, unfortunately, but you need to look him up. He's a legend. If you say Donald Goines, and I believe there's a documentary that may be coming out about him. But my dad used to have me read his books. I read Horror Sun, Black Girl Lost, and I became a big fan. So that was another, reason why I said I wanted to become a writer. And like I said, I had a passion for it. But that was how it started.
Very cool. So getting incorporated with music and being people sharing these things with you influenced you to be destined to create music and create your own books and to be a writer, right?
Absolutely, because that was another thing. Like when I was growing up as a kid, my parents would buy me, Barbies, all of that for Christmas, but they also bought me books. They always kept books around. Now you gonna read. We gonna buy you educational stuff, and we also gonna buy you your fun stuff, but we want to keep you in these books. Also, my mother, music is in my family. My mother is, she passed away, unfortunately. Rest in peace to my mother. But she used to play the guitar. Nobody ever saw a black woman play a guitar, but her and my uncle were, guitar players, and my mama could also sing. And, growing up in the house, one thing I can honestly say is that my parents, I have an appreciation for all types of music, not just hip hop. I love jazz. I love neo soul. I love R&B. I could listen to country, pop, any type of music I love. And they just, it's like a music appreciation. Any type of music, I have an appreciation for it.
Right. So you're engulfed with all these types of media, right? And that's where all your influence is coming from, pretty much?
Yes. And one of my influences, since we on the subject of influences, my main influence when it comes to production, Kanye West, hands down. I'm a big fan of Kanye, Justice League, the Neptunes, Timbaland, Missy and Just Blaze. Those are like producers who heavily influenced me. Kanye, most definitely. And that's someone who I want to meet. I don't care what y'all say about Kanye. He one of the dopest producers ever.
You still, like, so when you see the antics about Kanye, it doesn't bother you at all?
No, I pay attention to his, to how he does musically. I don't care about his political views, none of that. I love him as a producer. That's all I care about.
Yeah, right. So you kind of separate the person from the actual product, right?
Correct.
That's pretty cool.
Well, at least with Kanye. I can't say that for everybody.
Right. Some people cross the lines, right, and stuff like that. Talk about the first emergence in your producing, and what was your first big breaks as in being a producer?
So let's get to the production. I started beat battling in late 2011. I was hanging with my cousin and we went to a birthday party at the Old Miami. This girl named Nikki, shout out to Nikki, she was having a birthday party. And my cousin had told Piper Carter, shout out to her, he had told her, he was like, yeah, my cousin, make beats. So they were like, okay, you should battle. And I'm like, okay, I'm with it. So the first beat battle I did, I lost, but I wasn't tripping because I didn't really understand the rules of it. So my intro was a little too long, right? So once I got the hang of it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come back. So I came to, this is the first battle I won now. So I came to this beat battle, right? And I never forget, I was getting ready to battle. And it was a dude. Shout out to this dude because you helped me win this battle. He was like, oh, hell no, it's a bitch in this?
Ooh.
I'm like, is he talking about me? So I'm like, he talking about me. So I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I'm about to murder every last one of these niggas on this. I'm about to kill all these niggas. So I ended up winning that night. And then some months later, I got into the March Madness beat battle because I had met Uncle P the night that I won the beat battle. Shout out to Uncle P. I had won and, I told him I was down to, battle at his battle. So I won March Madness, and I'm going to be the first to say this on air. I was the first female producer to win a beat battle pregnant. I was pregnant with my son, and I told him I was going to shout him out on the Kid L podcast. He's in middle school. So I told him I was going to shout him out. Shout out to my son, Dion. He's in the 7th grade. I told you I was going to shout you out, but I was the first to win a beat battle pregnant. So my son, he was a winner before he was even born. And that was, a huge, thing for me. And all in all, I'm a 3-time beat battle champion.
Wow.
So that's dope. But winning beat battles is not what strengthened me as a producer. That's not what strengthened me. It was losing. Losing is what made me get stronger. I'll never forget, it's this guy, and he was he really influenced me. His name was 01. Now, anytime I had to battle 01, I'm like, oh God. Either he would beat me or I would beat him. We would just always go back and forth, but it was always love. I never got salty about not winning. It wasn't like that for me.
Yeah.
I never got angry, but he really influenced me. He made me get stronger. It was other producers who, heavily influenced me. I would listen to their beats and I'd be like, damn, I got garbage compared to some of these dudes up in here. So that was a big, deal. And if it wasn't for beat battling, I don't think I would have taken my craft seriously. That really helped me. I don't think I would have taken my craft seriously. I don't think that I would have met some of the people who I've met, include my husband. So it was a big, deal.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, to win that many times and to be a female producer, obviously, it makes people kind of look at you and be like, oh, she's not going to do shit like that guy said. Like, she's not about to do shit. And then when you take over, it's like a really big impact, right?
Yes.
Did you get to have any placements with any major artists or anything like that? Have your beats been produced with any major artists right now so far?
So I've worked with quite a few artists in the Detroit underground scene. I worked with Stretch Money.
Cool.
Shout out to Stretch Money. We did a song, my husband's album, God Got My Flow. I worked with him. I worked with Cheddar Boy Malik, Sacred the Homie. I worked with another artist, which is my cousin Rico Red. He was my first cousin that I worked with. I've worked with a number of artists, within the Detroit underground, circle. I worked with Nova the Bully. I'm currently working on a song. I'm working on a beat for him and Guilty Simpson as well. So dope. Shout out to Guilty. And the list go on. I can't even tell you how many artists in the Detroit underground world I worked with, because it's been a lot, and it keeps going.
Very, very, very cool. So with the music being stabilized for you in a way where you have a bunch of people that want to work with you and collaborate with you at all times. Now you're hopping into the field of writing, right? Yeah. Is this your first book?
Yes, this is my first book.
Talk about, the story has to come from somewhere, right? Yeah. Was it totally figurative in your mind, or was it from experience, or was it from people's experiences that you witnessed? Like, where did you get the experiences that Ayesha has in the books onto the book?
So I grew up in this same neighborhood. I'm not going to say it is strictly fictional. However, I've experienced a lot of what these women have experienced. I've experienced, prime example, Ayesha's mother, Simone, had her when she was 17. I was a teenage mother at 17. I had my first child at 17. So that's one experience. I grew up in that same neighborhood. I had, I knew people who, dealt with sexual abuse, things like that. I had an experience, previously, when I was 13. So it was something that I could relate to, and also other women could relate to as well. So
you said at 13, somebody sexually abused you at 13 pretty much?
It was an attempt. So it was this guy, and he was like old enough to be my damn grandfather, right? He had offered, I was, 13, and he was trying to, do something sexual with me. And I'm like, get your creepy old ass away from me. Luckily, nothing, happened, because it didn't happen. But yeah, it did.
Were you able to communicate with him after? Did you ever speak to him again?
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they kind of ostracized him, like the community of people. Or did you not tell anybody, or like, did you tell anybody that he tried, or like?
I did.
Yeah.
I did tell,
I know that's the biggest problem, right? Is it's like I've spoken to a lot of women who have been sexually abused, and the biggest problem they ever had was communicating that with the adults, because the person that would cause the sexual abuse would be like a friend, family member, or a friend or whatever, and the parents would be like, oh, well, as long as nothing didn't happen, we're not going to do anything about it. Or if something even did happen, sometimes the parents or family or friends would be like, well, he's cousins with him, or he's our cousin, so just forget about it and move on. So a lot of people don't even speak up about their sexual abuse.
And that was another thing that I mentioned in the book. A lot of times, some of the things in this book is very graphic, I'm not going to lie, but this is what's going on in a lot of households, and it's being swept under the rug. And it's not just women who experience sexual abuse, it's also men. And that's not talked about enough. So I did talk about that. Like, a lot of times it's swept under the rug, because it's family. Oh, we're just going to look past this. Now, the person who tried to, do this to me, it wasn't somebody in my family. Of course not. But a lot of times it happens within the family, and it's swept under the rug, and no one wants to say anything about it. We just gonna look past it, act like nothing happened, and that's not cool at all. When it came to my kids, I'm not gonna lie, and they probably thought that I was being a mean mom, but they understand now. I didn't allow my kids to spend a night nowhere. Like, no, the only house that I allowed my kids to spend a night at was my uncle's house. And that was because my cousin had kids and we grew up together. But other than that, I didn't allow my kids to spend a night nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere at all.
How often do you feel like you're hearing abuse stories from where you came from?
It's still going on to this day. A lot. Like so many women and men, we got to put that out there, have experienced this. This is still going on.
Yeah. So in the book, obviously you offer helps and tips and ideas and contact information for women and men to, the resources for women and men to reach out to, right, as well?
Yes.
Do you have anybody that you're working with that's helping delegate that with you, or is this strictly information that you have?
This is information that I have that I pulled from different websites. Like, of course, the RAIN number is in the book as well. But I would definitely love to work with people who, can help women and men as well get through that.
Very, very cool. Talk a little bit about the storyline a little bit. Walk us through what people can expect when they grab the book.
Let me tell y'all something. What y'all can expect is a lot of drama. A lot of drama. You gonna expect drama, family dynamics, friendship. Of course, it's gonna talk about sexual abuse. Now, I'm not gonna lie. That last chapter is disturbing. But also it's gonna make you cry. It's gonna make you smile. It's also gonna make you laugh as well. You're going to experience, it's just like watching a movie. What people have told me is they can like picture this in their mind. I wanted to make it visual. I gave descriptions of the character like Ayesha is described as caramel with slanted eyes. The other main character, Malik, he's tall, dark, handsome. So you can, visualize this book in your mind. But I'm definitely going to let y'all know you are going to enjoy all 238 pages of this book. And I'm not just saying that because it's my book. So
very, very cool. Yeah. Is this the woman that we're supposed to imagine that it is?
Yep. That's Ayesha.
Damn. So who is that for real?
Look, it was a royalty stock photo that I got that I paid for to, get that.
Yeah, that's cool. And it has the Welcome to Detroit sign on it. Founded in 17. That's cool. Who published the book for you?
So Draft to Digital published it. I also published it. I used Draft to Digital, and also I used Amazon.
Very cool.
As well.
Where is it going to be available for purchase?
So you can purchase it on Amazon. You can also purchase it on Barnes and Noble as well. You can get the ebook, and you can also get the paperback. The ebook is $10. The paperback is $15.
Cool. Are you going to do, have you decided to pitch the idea to any filmmakers or anything like that?
I'm definitely considering that. Actually, I meant to tell you this. So you had two people on your show who I would love to be in this movie.
Oh, directors or actors?
Actors.
Oh, okay. Who are you thinking?
I would say I want Cash Dow, and I love Cash Out. Shout out to her. I would love for Cash Dow to play Simone, who is Ayesha's mother, and you had Sierra Angelia. I don't want no one else but Sierra Angelia to play Ayesha. That's who I want.
Sierra's an incredible actress.
Because when I first seen her, it was your show. It was the day that you had interviewed my husband. And when I first seen Sierra, I was like, oh my God. Because I have a, picture of how Ayesha looks in my mind. And I was like, she is perfect. So Sierra, if you watching this, I want you to play Ayesha.
For sure. See, Cash Doll playing the mother, I don't know about that. I feel like Cash Doll should play like the sister or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Cash Doll, the way the mother looks, she has the description of Ayesha's mother, and Ayesha's mother is younger, so Cash Doll would like be perfect. She's a younger mother, so I definitely would love Cash Doll.
So I know people who make films in Detroit. Obviously, I'm sure you know too. Dennis Reed, Dejon Ford. Those are two people that you should probably contact immediately for a Tubi idea, because you already got the whole. This is probably 2 scripts worth of material right here, just from holding the thickness of it. Try to get it to be made into a movie. Hearing you talk about it seems like it's a very important topic. And these Tubi movies these days, they only talk about the same things drugs and sex and violence and all these things. At least this has like inspirational and motivational things behind it.
And that was something that I wanted to do. No disrespect to anyone. And I wanted to do something different. I wanted to make a coming of age story. And that's what I wanted to do. And it's what makes me happy is when people come up to me and they say, I've experienced it. You told my story and you don't even know me. So that really makes me feel real like great about that.
That's amazing. That's amazing to hear that people can relate to it to that level where it feels like their story is being heard, right?
Right.
A lot of people go through this, and like I said earlier, they don't get to tell anybody about it.
No, because it's always swept under the rug.
As far as progressing yourself as being a woman from Detroit and being a self-made entrepreneur, what kind of things are you seeing the new generation of females from Detroit? What characteristics and things do you wish you could address and kind of speak to them about to help them become successful or become somebody that has their head on their shoulders growing up? I mean, all women, not just from Detroit, obviously have issues that they deal with, but since it's from your area, talk about some things that you do notice that you would change or help the new generation understand.
One thing I would change is I don't like, and I'm going to be honest, I don't like shows like Baddies. I don't like to see women fight. One thing, that's something that I just don't like. I don't like to see, why are we fighting? For what? What we doing all that for? That's one thing I would change. Another thing I would change is the industry has a way of putting women up against each other. And it's been like that for centuries. Women are always put up against each other, decades rather. And I just want to see more women unify. Like, it's enough money for everybody out here.
Yeah.
That's one thing I would like to see.
Have you witnessed that growing up, just seeing people kind of going against each other? I did notice that in the rap game. I'm not going to lie. In the rap game, I did notice that female rappers feel like they need to be the only one that's being talked about. Like, there's so many times I would interview a Detroit female rapper or just a female rapper, and if I brought up another female rapper, they'd just look at me like, don't talk about anybody else but me. almost like they're selling a product almost. Like if you're pitching something to Shark Tank, you don't want to start talking about other businesses really. You just want to talk about your business, right?
Right.
That's kind of how I felt when I would talk to some female rappers where they'd be like, yo, don't talk about anybody else but me. I don't want anybody going to search this other woman that you're talking about. I want them to focus on me. With men, I never get that problem. Men are more open to like talk about like, yo, this rapper, that rapper, yeah, whatever. So what do you think that is? What do you think it is where, females need to feel like they need to be exclusive and like they need to be the one chosen?
It's some hater ass shit. Listen, I don't care to be the only female producer. There are other female producers out here. You have the L Catalog. You have Rita McCree. I know a girl named Cookie who does beats. So I don't care to be the only female producer. It's enough money for everybody out here. And I'm going to say that all through the show, just so y'all can hear me.
Yeah, there's enough money for everybody, right?
So I don't, understand, why I got to be the only one for what? Like I said, it's enough money for everybody to get on.
Yeah, for sure. Does this book talk about dating at all?
Woo! Yes, it does. Actually, since we on the subject of rap shit, Ayesha dates a guy. Yeah. He's a rapper. He's a local rapper. His name is Eastside Bankroll in the book, right? That's
probably a real rapper, by the way.
He's not a real rapper. It's a character I made up. Okay. His name is Eastside Bankroll. And I mean, this relationship was a whole shit show. It does talk about dating. It talks about, experiences with being with a narcissist, being with an abuser, a cheater, things like that. So it definitely touches on relationships.
How are you able to understand the psychology of the relationship angle from both ends? Like, did you just study it or did you experience it to know these relationship patterns you witness?
Kid L, I used to be toxic.
Really?
I used to be toxic.
Like, what do you mean?
When I tell you I used to be toxic, look, I ain't gonna hold you up, Kid L. Look, y'all see, I'm about to tell the truth. I told y'all I was sipping before I got on here.
Right.
When I was with my kid's father, I'm not gonna lie, I cheated. I cheated a couple of times. I ain't even gonna hold you up.
God.
I was toxic as hell. I was so toxic. I ain't gonna lie. I was with and I'm not bragging on cheating because I got my karma for cheating. Trust me. That's how I know. So I never forget. I was with my kid's father, right? And my sneaky link at the time, he ended up getting a girlfriend. I was pissed. I'm like, how dare you break my heart like this? You gonna go out here and get a girlfriend? I'm looking on Facebook and it's around Valentine's Day and I'm thinking, I'm about to get him a gift. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to see my sneaky link. I'm gonna spend Valentine's Day with him. Before Valentine's Day come, I look, such and such is in a relationship with such and such. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So fuck us, huh? Fuck us. Fuck me. You with somebody else.
Wow. So you were married, or you had were you married?
No, I wasn't married.
Oh, okay.
I was in the thing was, and like I said, look, in my 20s, y'all, I was a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I told you I was gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
The thing was, we had got together way too young. We had a baby together. We were kids when we got together. We was teenagers. So instead of me communicating, I'm unhappy, this is not working out, I'm just cheating.
Wow.
I'm cheating. I was toxic.
So you didn't just want to break up? You didn't just say, like, I want to break up?
I was keeping it together for the baby and, all of that. But I was just, like I said, it was wrong. And if I could go back, I would have, communicated better. And I wouldn't have done the things that I've done. Now, what stopped me from cheating? I ain't gonna lie. I went to go see this guy, right?
Yeah.
And I promise you, I had went to see him on the east side. And it was a shootout.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is how I'm gonna get caught cheating. This is how I'm gonna get caught because I'm gonna end up getting shot and they gonna find out that I cheated. But that's what stopped me. And no, I've never cheated on my husband.
Yeah.
I'm scared to cheat on him because he'd come out and do a diss song on me, and he know too many people, so he'll find out about it. But
that's the only reason you don't cheat?
No, I mean I don't cheat because I love him and I don't want it done to me. But
yeah. So when you were younger, you were just wilding out.
I was wilding out, man. I was on some kid.
That's wild.
When I think about me in my 20s.
Well, yeah. So that's what's interesting now that I'm getting your perspective, because this what you said it would actually happen to me. Before I got into a relationship, I was seeing a lot of women. Okay, one woman I was seeing was married, and we were hooking up for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I got a girlfriend after 3 weeks, and then that girl, the married woman, messaged me. She's like, "Oh, so you're just gonna get a girlfriend on me, and you're gonna stop seeing me now, and all this? What about everything we had together?" And I'm like, "Yo, you're married," and it was so confusing to me. I was like, I don't understand. Why are you upset? If you're married, why are you upset that I'm cheating? That I have a girlfriend now. So now I'm kind of hearing your perspective of what is it? If a man starts dating somebody that was he was your sneaky link, what happened? Why did it upset you so much?
He broke my heart.
But how? If he wasn't yours, why did it bother you?
He was mad in my mind.
Wow.
He broke my heart. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What about us? You gonna go out here and get a girlfriend? I know I had a dude at the crib, but that's not the point.
Wow.
But I was like, honestly, and I'm gonna say this on air, I'm gonna publicly apologize. Any dude I was toxic to, if I did you wrong, I apologize. I wasn't shit back then, okay? I wasn't shit, and I apologize. And that's from the bottom of my heart, because like I said, you get your karma. You gonna get your karma.
Was that your karma? The shootout was your karma? Do you feel like?
My karma was dealing with a dude that wouldn't shit. It wasn't shit. He wasn't shit.
So how many years were you dating the guy that you cheated on?
We were together for almost 10 years.
Oh my God. How many years then did you start cheating?
Woo! I plead the fifth on that one.
Oh my God. Why would you plead the fifth now?
I was mad, kid.
This is important because I think it's going to help people understand the book more.
Look, I cheated. I don't even know how many times.
I didn't say how many times. I said, how long into the relationship did you start cheating? How many years before you started cheating?
I can't even remember.
It wasn't right away though, right?
It wasn't, in the beginning. It was like kind of like down the line a little bit. But yeah.
Without the kid, do you feel like you would have just left? If you didn't have the kid, would you have just been like, I'm out of here?
Probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so. I definitely would have. And now, like I said, I got my karma from that. And if I hurt you, I apologized. That was real fucked up for me to do that shit to you. But
what was the biggest lie that you said when you went to go out cheating? Like, what was the lie that you told to like let your husband know that you're like?
Well, I ain't never cheat on my husband.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry,
baby.
sorry, not husband.
Baby, I ain't never cheat on you.
So what do they call it? A baby's daddy? A baby's daddy. So the baby's daddy, what was the biggest lie you ever told him to go out to cheat?
The biggest lie I told, I was always out with my best friend. Always listen. And I'm not bragging on this. I told y'all I was going to keep it 100. I would always use my best friend as a scapegoat. We out such and such. That's what I would always say.
And then she would back you up and say, yeah, she's with me if he called her.
Yeah, as she should.
Wow.
She my best friend. I would do it for her.
But you know what? That has to fail eventually. One day if your baby daddy calls her and says like, hey, where is she? Let me talk to her. What does she do? Like, oh, she's in the bathroom. How long is that going to work for? 20 minutes?
You know what? Each time I cheated, he would always catch me. And when he would catch me, I would say, look, you caught me. I did it. I fucked up.
You know why this is helping me so much right now? Because my ex-girlfriend cheated on me like 18 times. And I caught her like a lot of those times. Like I caught her. And I don't know why I never left. I should have just left. I don't know why I didn't leave. But I remember the first time I caught her cheating, she was messaging some guy about getting a massage. And then I was like, who's this guy? And she's like, oh, it's a friend. It's nothing. He's a massage therapist. I was like, all right, whatever. But I think the day that really hurt me a lot is I called her. I knew something was wrong. I don't know why I knew something was wrong. It was in my heart. I called her and she said, hey, I'm sleeping. And she said it like, when women wake up from sleeping, they sound like angels. Like, oh, I'm sleeping. I'm like, oh, she's sleeping. I'm like, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm about to pull up to your house. She's like, no, you can't. And I was like, why can't I pull up to your house? She's like, because I'm not home. And then I was like, where else are you sleeping at? You know what I mean? She's like, I'm sleeping in my car. And I was like, you're sleeping in your car? That doesn't make any sense. Then she was saying like, I was like, okay, well, I'm coming over right now. She's like, you can't come over. Anyway, I started driving there. I was like, play the radio if you're in your car. You know what she did? She turned on the TV and raised the volume on the news channel. So I was like, CNN is not on the radio. I already know you're lying to me. Then I heard a guy's voice in the background. I was like, I cannot believe this shit. Like, but I didn't leave her after that. I didn't leave her till like the 18th time she was on plentyofishes.com. That's when I left her. I was like, you know what? You're on a dating website. Like, that's, what am I going to do? Like,
and what I want to tell people, if you're unhappy, just leave. Don't cheat. It ain't worth it. Just leave. And the thing is with cheating, it takes a lot of time. You got to delete messages. You got to come up with creative lies. You got to do a lot of work to cheat. Let me explain something. I don't share my location because sharing my location is how I got caught for cheating. That's why I never share my location to this day. That's how I got caught. My baby daddy found out where I was at. I'm like, oh my God.
Wait, so why the hell, if you knew your location was on, what are you thinking about?
Listen, this was like, look.
What do you?
I don't even know how my location was on. I don't know if he I don't know if he took my phone and put my location. That ain't even me to keep my location on. I'm like, oh my God. And I just want to put this out there. I only cheated on one guy. So all y'all other exes out there, I never cheated on y'all niggas, okay? Never.
This guy, the reason you cheated on this guy is because you didn't really want to be with him. And you were kind of stuck in the relationship.
Right. And that wasn't the right thing to do at all.
But you had a kid, so people understand it. It's like, okay, you have a kid. You're trying to stay together for the family, but you don't want to be with him.
Right. And that was not a good excuse at all.
How long did you guys date before you had the kid?
We got together, let's see. We got together in 2005.
Okay.
And we had our daughter in 2006. So we moved fast.
Yeah, you didn't really have a chance to figure him out. And then it's like you have the kid. You realize you don't want to be with him after having the kid. That's just a sucky situation.
Right. And it was just like, like I said, we were young.
Yeah.
And we thought we was, when when I first got pregnant, we thought, okay, we about to be a family. We gonna get married, this, that, and the other. And then reality sets in. It was not an easy task being a teen mother at all.
Yeah. Did he cheat back on you?
Not that I know of.
Whoa.
Not that I know of. Did you?
So how many? So he caught you every time, most of the times, right?
Yes. Or if he didn't catch me, I would feel bad or guilty and say.
So that's the thing about it. It's like he didn't leave you even if he figured it out.
Right.
I did the same thing. That's so weird. Yo, man, we need to talk and figure out why we didn't leave our girls when they cheated on us. Not my current girlfriend, by the way, my ex.
And then when I finally broke it off, I was like, neither one of us is happy. It's been a long time coming. It wasn't easy for me to, say that. Like I said, I don't really like to hurt people at all. I don't like to hurt people. Again, I was immature and I was young, dumb, full of cum. I'm just
oh my God. That's wild.
I'm just going to be honest. I wasn't shit back then. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't shit.
Were you making money? Like, were you like established, like financially and stuff like that?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was established. I had a little job, but I was just, like I said, I was young and fucking dumb.
Yeah, I feel that though. But it's good that you're like, even though the story is like probably tough for you to tell and everything like that, at the end of the day, people need to hear this because I'm sure there's women that are going to hear that story and be like, you know what? I'm with a guy right now that I don't want to fucking be with. And I don't want to cheat. Just leave.
The best thing to do is just communicate it, but don't communicate it in such a belligerent way. Just have a talk with that person and just say, this is not working out. Try to do it, in a way, that's, what's the word I'm looking for? Just say, hey, this ain't working out. I'm not happy. Just do it with tact, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's dope.
But definitely, y'all, don't cheat. Don't do it.
It's not worth it, right?
It's not worth it.
I on my ex, I didn't cheat on her, but I hooked up with another girl while we were broken up. Sex was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Sex is different planet type sex. Cheating sex is the best sex, right? Is it the best sex?
You try to get me killed over here?
I'm just saying, like, isn't it the best? Because it's like you're not supposed to be doing it, and it's like you get to kind of pick who you want to do it with. Type shit. I don't know. Other than the relationship aspect of the story, you said there's a mother figure in the story. Talk about her role.
So Simone is a single mother of 4 children. She has 4 children. Ayesha is the oldest. It talks about the challenges of being a single mother, and I was going to address that. A lot of single mothers, it's a tough role. Is a really, really, really tough role. And to the single mothers out there, and I'm just gonna be honest and I'm gonna say this, if you are feeling overwhelmed and it's getting too much, it's okay to say, hey, okay, you can go live with your daddy. And I'm not saying that to be a deadbeat. That's not what I'm saying, y'all. If sometimes the father might have a better work schedule, sometimes the father might have more flexibility. And sometimes it might be best. Perfect example. My children stays with their father. I went through this, whole ordeal with my, children's father. We're on better terms, now, but back, in 2020, we went through this whole ordeal. It was stressful, going to court back and forth. It wasn't because, it wasn't, it wasn't, how do I explain this? It was very stressful to go through that. So we went through this, whole court battle for 2 years. We went through this whole court battle for 2 years.
Damn.
And then it was so stressful to the point where I said, okay, my kids were in different school districts, this, that, and another. And I was like, okay, maybe, it's not so bad for them to stay with their father. At that time, my daughter, when she went to go stay with her father, she had, been with me for all these years. And when she went to go stay with her father, she was going into high school. And at first, I had got really depressed. I even had a contemplation. I'm going to talk about that, during that time. But I will say this. while my children were living with their father, I was getting my shit together. I finished school. I got my bachelor's degree. Was putting out projects, wrote this book. It gave me more, flexibility, not to go out here and party because I'm done with that club life. It gave me more flexibility to really get my life together. And, at first I was like, no, I was, accustomed to being a full-time mother. I'm like, no, I'm not about to let my kids live with their father. Fuck that shit. I'm the mama. But people were telling me, they were like, listen, it doesn't make you a bad mother if you say, hey, you can go stay with your father. It doesn't make you a bad mother. Now, I'm the first one on Kid L to admit that I pay child support. They will put you on child support, but the child support that I pay, I don't complain about that shit. I do what I got to do because it's for the child.
Wait. You have to pay child support?
Yeah, because if one parent, and that's fair. That's fair for me to pay child support. And you want to know why? Because we both have joint legal custody, but of course the children stay with him. My daughter's 18 now and my son is 12. But that's fair because when the children were living with me, he was paying child support. So I had already knew that they was going to put me on child support. I mean, it's fair. If the child is staying with one parent and that parent got to pay child support, I mean, it's fair. It shouldn't be a thing against gender. I don't think fathers should be the only ones who pay child support. Because if the father has the child, sole physical custody and the mother is the weekend parent, then the mother should pay child support. I pay it. And to be honest, it was the same thing. I'm paying just as much as I would if the kids were staying with me.
I've just never heard it before. I think that's why I'm shocked.
It's a lot of women out here who are paying child support, but they don't, get on Facebook and, cry about it. Because like I said, it's for the child.
Yeah, at the end of the day, right? It's for your kid.
Right. And it's for my kids.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the money you would have gave them anyway, right?
Right.
Just yeah, like that makes sense. Right?
And that doesn't make you a bad parent if you say, okay, my son is going to go live with his father or my daughter's going to go live with her father. It doesn't make you a bad parent at all. And I just want to let women know, it's okay to, make that decision.
Yes. So with the characters mainly being, it seems like the daughter and the mother, is that the main focal points of the book?
Yep. So you have, Ayesha, you have Ayesha's best friend who, that's her ride or die.
She's the freaky one, right? I guarantee she's the freaky one. I bet
How did Kid L know? So I just had somebody tell me today, they was like, the character Kiera is such a thought.
I knew it. It's always the friend. It's always the friend, man.
Somebody just said that you have Kiera's friend. Not Kiera. Ayesha has issues. She has daddy issues because her dad is a fucking deadbeat. So, of course, she has issues with her dad. Also, Ayesha has a love interest by the name of Malik. And I want to just say this live on air. Y'all want to know who the real Malik is? Well, I'm about to tell y'all who the real Malik is live on air because y'all keep asking. Malik is based on my imagination, y'all.
Come on, man.
Listen, my ex is, okay, so the character Malik, he is a star basketball player in high school. He's very popular. None of my exes, I ain't never seen one of my motherfucking exes dribble a damn ball.
Do you see how much Baby Reindeer made, the Netflix series? Because everybody was trying to figure out who the woman in the story was based off, and then they figured out who she was. That show made hundreds of millions of dollars because of that. Yeah, just say it's a guy that you knew.
But my exes don't fit the description of Malik.
You know what? I don't believe you. I think what you did is you created a personified, like, as far as his lifestyle is different, but I guarantee you the inner parts of him, the way he's acted, were people that you've known throughout your life.
Well, I'm going to let y'all decide who is the real Malik. The real Malik needs to come on Kid L and tell his story. Whoever the real Malik is, I swear it's my imagination, y'all.
Is it I Swear Vezo?
Oh my God. I ain't never dated
I'm clowning. But no, that's crazy. So you have the whole dynamic, the whole community in there of the friends, the mother, Ayesha, obviously, and her journey through life. How many people have read the book so far?
Whoo, I had a couple of people. I sold 30 pre-copies.
Cool.
Well, no, actually 38 in total. So
Dope.
a lot of people have read it. Well, a lot of my friends, well, all my friends read it. So
Did they say they want a part 2?
I can't give any spoilers, but once y'all read it, y'all know if it's going to be a part 2 or not.
Okay, dope. All right, is there anything you want to talk about before we sign off?
Well, I said I was going to shout out some people because we all thrive on support. And one of the things I've always been told, I overly support people. So I want to shout out my makeup artist who did my makeup, Monstar Beat. I also want to shout out my friends, Tequila, Ebony, Lily, Victoria, Ruby, all my friends. I want to shout out my daughter, Michaela, also my husband. I never even told you how me and my husband met.
How'd you and Silas meet?
We met on Facebook.
Dope.
He was in my DM.
He slid in the DMs?
And the thing is, I want to thank you because you showed my husband so much love. You were like, he's not the type of guy who lies or anything. He's not. He gonna tell the truth.
No, he's a legend.
And he is, he's very misunderstood. He's, a misunderstood person. The Silas that everybody knows is this cocky guy who says whatever the fuck he wants to say. But this guy was the sweetest gentleman ever when he got in my DM. And I'm like, are you the same guy that I be seeing talking all this shit on Facebook and blase? But that was 10 years ago, and we've been rocking ever since.
You guys been married for 10 years?
We've been married. It'll be 10 years February 13th.
Oh, cool.
Hey, baby.
What's the key to a happy marriage?
Communication. One of the things, I'm not gonna lie, when I first married my husband, I was a little bit immature. When we would have an argument, I would walk away. I would drive off, fuck this shit, I'm leaving. And he would tell me, look, neither one of us, we're not going nowhere. You gonna sit here and we gonna talk about whatever the fuck we got going on. That's the key, is to, communication is the number one key.
Have you ever seen a couple that's just like totally happy and like they never have chaos or arguments, or do you see like there's always a dynamic of arguing in all relationships?
There's no such thing as that. There is no such thing. Every marriage, every relationship has its problems. The only difference is some of those couples don't put it out on Facebook. Like if me and my husband going through some shit, I'm not going to blast it all on Facebook. I'm not going to do that. We can be going through some shit and you're not going to hear about it. Same thing, with my other relationships. I grew from that shit. I'm not about to go on Facebook and say, fuck you, nigga, and blah, 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 regardless of what you do, regardless of what you did to me. It's not for them to see that.
Exactly.
So,
well, this was an incredible talk. It's awesome. This is like, I think, the first time somebody's really brought in a book on here and really to talk about it. Congratulations on becoming an author. I look forward to actually reading this now that you got me hyped up for it to figure out what's going on.
Right. And I got to tell y'all where to follow me. Y'all can follow me on Facebook at Rated M on the Beat on Facebook, Rated M on the Beat on Instagram. I am Rated M on TikTok. Also, the Book of Ayesha, I have a soundtrack, that instrumental soundtrack that is available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, all streaming platforms. The Book of Ayesha original soundtrack produced by Rated M on the Beat. Make sure y'all check it out. All instrumentals. If you're gonna read the book, listen to the soundtrack while you at it.
Dope. Very, very, very cool. Appreciate you doing this. I'm going to check this book out. It drops tomorrow, so it's going to be out by the time you guys watch this.
Yeah.
Appreciate you doing this. We're at Parallel Sound Studio. High Level Visuals shooting these productions. We're out. Peace.